Hey everyone, this is Veronica Wasek with 5-Minute Bookkeeping, and today I'm talking to e-commerce sellers about the 3 essentials every e-commerce seller should know about inventory, cost of goods sold, and QuickBooks Online. I work with a lot of e-commerce sellers on their financial and accounting strategy, and one of the issues that I see a lot is a lot of confusion around inventory, cost of goods sold, and how you deal with that in QuickBooks Online. So I'll be sharing with you 3 essentials that you need to know in dealing with these issues. Let's get started. Number 1, inventory and QuickBooks Online. In case you don't know, inventory are the products that you haven't sold yet. So inventory is made up of the products that you have purchased but not yet sold. And why is it important to track inventory? It's because your money is tied up in inventory you haven't sold yet. And the IRS wants to know what your inventory is at the end of the year. So tracking inventory correctly does really affect your profitability, and it makes tax time a whole lot easier when it comes to doing your tax return. While QuickBooks Online does have some functionality for tracking inventory, you should know that it's actually made for tracking inventory for a very simple brick and mortar business, not an e-commerce business. So it's really not made to accommodate for multi-channel inventory, for bundles, for assemblies. It's just very, very basic, and it really doesn't fit the e-commerce business model. So while you may want to track your inventory in QuickBooks Online, it's probably not the best place to do that. Number 2, beware of app integrations. Many inventory tracking apps claim that they will eliminate manual processes by connecting directly to QuickBooks Online. What they're really doing is sending over inventory information over to QuickBooks, which I already said is not the best place to track inventory. And they're also doing a huge data dump. So they'll most of the time be sending over detailed transactions into QuickBooks that you really don't need to be tracking, especially if you have hundreds and thousands of orders that are coming over into QuickBooks. There's no need to track all that detail into QuickBooks. So what you need to be aware of is that even though your inventory tracking app may say it integrates with QuickBooks, you really need to consider what your specific business needs are and whether it makes sense to bring over a lot of data into your QuickBooks, whether that integration is actually a good integration. Is it going to bring data over to your QuickBooks but maybe not map it to the right account? And is it ultimately going to save you time, or is it just causing more work on your part or your accountant's part because they're having to now clean up all this data that's being dumped into your QuickBooks? As a best practice, I recommend actually bringing over summarized totals into your QuickBooks that are not affecting individual inventory transactions. Number 3, understand the relationship between inventory and cost of goods sold. What is cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold, or COGS, C-O-G-S, COGS, is the cost of the products that you have sold in a particular period of time. If inventory is not correctly tracked in your books, then your cost of goods sold will also be incorrect because they have a direct relationship. So if you remember, I said that inventory on your books is the amount of the products that you haven't sold yet. But once you sell those products, then the cost of those products then is recorded or added into the cost of goods sold account. So again, if inventory balances are wrong, then your cost of goods sold balances will also be wrong. There's a direct correlation. So why is that important? Well, if cost of goods sold is incorrect, then you won't have a clear picture of your profits. And if you don't have a clear picture of your profits, then how do you know if you're making any money? Or how do you know if you're really selling some profitable product? Also, if your cost of goods sold is incorrect and you don't know what your profits are, that means that you don't know which product lines are profitable. So having an accurate cost of goods sold is key to really having a clear picture or a clear view of your profits. Should you use QuickBooks Online for your e-commerce business? Yes, you should, but just be aware that QuickBooks Online alone will not really handle all of the needs that you have as an e-commerce seller, especially if you are selling on multi-channels. And also be aware that while you may need an app to make everything work, that not all apps are created equal, and you should be aware of how transactions will be coming over from your cloud inventory management app into QuickBooks Online, and know exactly what those transactions will do before you connect QuickBooks to that app. I'm Veronica Wasek with 5-Minute Bookkeeping, and that was the 3 essentials every e-commerce seller should know about inventory, cost of goods sold, and QuickBooks Online. Make sure that you leave me a comment below and let me know if there's other topics that you'd like me to do. I'd be happy to do those for you in the future. Check the description box below for my free resources, a link to join my Facebook group, and also how you might get a hold of me if you need help with your e-commerce accounting. If this content is helping you, make sure that you comment, like, share, subscribe to this channel so you can get all of my latest videos.